Woo. All right. We're live. Let's see how many people actually join. See, I like this one better because instead of Facebook, because with Facebook, if I go live, I can't see how many people are on. But with YouTube, I can, which is cool. All right. So let's see. I think we're good to go. Let me just put this on the page real quick. I'll put the link on the page, and then we can get going here. How's everyone doing? All one of you. Hope quarantining is going okay. It is nuts out there. Let's see here. Just made the page and I can't even find it. There we go. All right, let's post this. See how many people we get. All right. Cool. All righty. So I think we're good to go. So, yeah. So if you have any questions or anything, welcome to the Q&A. Is it question and answer or quarantine and what did I put? All about movies or something like that. Yeah, so thanks for coming. This is I'm excited. I think this is the first. No, I did a live thing for the what was it, for the Oscar, my Oscar predictions. But I'm excited to do this because it's a little bit more of an actual interaction. So yeah, I'll probably say this a few times just as more people get on. But if you have any questions that you want to ask me about, my taste in movies or whatever, different things, or what I've been doing in terms of my life of filmmaking and movie watching, I'd love to answer them. I have conversations about stuff. If you have questions about what you want to see on the channel, like or your suggestions, let me know and I can definitely implement those. Now, as of right now, like I've been saying, I don't have access to, at least I think I have a computer that I'm going to try to use while I'm here for editing, but I don't really have access except for maybe that one to any sort of thing that'll hold. I have Adobe, but my laptop won't hold it because it's like super glitchy with it. So anything that I do right now, I can't do with editing for the most part that I know of, but I can still try to put them in the future, any segments or anything. So I'll just kind of go over until people start asking me questions or anything. I'll kind of go over what I'm thinking of for the future of the channel a little bit, at least the near future. It's hard to plan anything right now. But I'm going to just be going, keep going with my reviews for any movies that I've been wanting to do reviews of. Since there's really no new movies coming out right now that I could, see, I'm just going to keep going with the reviews I've been doing. So I think I did The Lighthouse, and I want to do one I want to do Get Out and Us, because I've been getting back into those. I love all the Jordan Peele movies, or both of them. And yeah, I mean, I did one on The Giver, but that was more of an in defense of, which I'll get to in a second. But I want to keep going with those kind of reviews on some of my favorite movies, some movies that maybe people haven't watched as often or done a lot of reviews on that I think, should have some positive or maybe negative or right in the middle reviews. And so I'll keep going with those. But in terms of actual segments and stuff, I have a few that I'm going to keep going with. The in defense of, I've only done The Giver right now, but I want to do one for actually a few TV shows. I want to have a TV show segment. I want to start that. And I'll probably do that for things like Game of Thrones and Mad Men, which I'm into right now, Breaking Bad, all the ones that people, because I'm behind when it comes to shows, and This Is Us. I want to do one for This Is Us. But I have two other TV shows that I watch religiously that I could put in the TV section, but I think I need to put them in the in defense of bits, because a lot of people have, at least from the people I've talked to, fallen off midway through these series. And I will keep them a surprise as to which ones those are. But I want to do these two of my favorite TV shows that I think deserve an in defense of, at least in my perspective. Yeah, so I'm going to be going with those, both the in defense of sections, which I'm going to make a thing, and in the TV shows I want to start. And like I said, as for the movies, I'll just keep going with what I'm doing now. If you have any suggestions that you guys want to see for movies or TV shows, the movies would be a little bit easier, especially if I've already seen them. But if not, it would only take me a little while to actually see it. But TV shows, I could definitely watch them. I need ideas for TV shows, and I have the time, but it'll still take me, a little bit to get through it. Unless it's like a limited series, something like that. If it's a full-fledged series, it'll take me a minute, and then I can do a review on it. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, let me know. And then the other thing that I want to be continuing with, is the podcast. Now that I have my channel kind of up and running a little bit, my friend Tim and I, we did that one podcast. That was, I think, the first thing I ever actually uploaded, was our favorite Halloween movies. And we have just been left and right been hindered in doing more of our podcast, just because we've been having lack of equipment problems. Then COPPA happened, and then quarantine happened, and we've just been trying to coordinate's been really hard. But we do have a lot of ideas. I swear, we do actually have ideas, and we have stuff. We actually have one or two that are ready to go. We just had to add stuff because of the COPPA, and we didn't get to yet. So we have two of them ready to go, or at least one of them. It's on deleted scenes, which is really cool. And then we have another one on movie scores. So I definitely want to have those, especially the movie scores. I want to have it edited nicely, because I can put some of the score. We can put some of the scores in there that we talk about. So we're gonna be coming back with that once quarantine ends. I swear. We've been having so many issues that we haven't been able to actually, keep going with it and actually record together, or edit. But we definitely want to keep going with that. If you have suggestions for that podcast too, we're looking for. We have ideas on things that some of them I'm going to be doing in my own think pieces, and some of them we're going to be doing on the podcast. But we have ideas for things that we aren't necessarily talked about a whole lot, like deleted scenes, and in terms of like a longer, not video essay, but just conversation format. We want to keep going with that. We have ideas for, I think, like for instance, movies that are so bad they're good. Movies that are just okay movies. Is it okay to have just an okay movie? And what was the other? We're going to start actually. I think we're going to put out those two that we already have, and then we're going to do we're going to start our series on the Dark Knight trilogy. We're going to do one for each. Yeah, and then kind of along with that, like I was saying, some of those think pieces will be on our podcast, and some I'll just be doing on my channel by myself. And I have a few ideas that I definitely want to look into. The one that I had most recently that I was really interested in is doing a think piece on animation. Is it a genre or is it a medium? Is it something that we can classify as, okay, I like Westerns, I like horror, and I like animation? Or is it we have all these genres and you have live action and animation and claymation? Are those two different things, animation and claymation? We have that in all genres, so that's something I'm really excited about too. I'm trying to think of any of the other, off the top of my head, any other ideas for like think pieces on movies. But that's kind of the gist. So we got think pieces, which I'm going to start because I don't think I've done any of them yet on my channel. I've just been focusing on the movie reviews, and then the In Defense Of and the TV shows, in addition to more of the movies. Yeah, and for, like I said, unless this computer that I have out, they'll be unedited for a while, which is kind of a bummer because I know the cuts are really fun to do and make it just go a little quicker. I know I say about 1,000 times every time I edit. I say all the time, and so I say it all the time. But see, so it's going to be unedited for a while, which kind of sucks, but I'd rather, get stuff out for you guys than nothing at all, Yeah, so that's kind of what we have going on for the future of the channel here. One thing I'm also trying to figure out is for right now, I like my grading system, just the 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's fine for now, and, having the true movie in the middles, being the 2 out of 4 and all. But I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, maybe something to make it a little bit more channel specific, having to do with the theme of middle and then like on one side or the other, something like that. So that's something else that I'm trying to come up with and trying to, I don't know, make a little bit more original. It's just my scoring system, the grading system, whatever it might be. Yeah, so that's kind of what we got going. Obviously, I'm trying to get an actual camera, and I'm trying to get some real equipment for our podcast. We are looking into different microphones and things like that. There's so many different types of, cameras and microphones and everything. It's so hard to figure out what to get for what you want, especially because everything's so expensive. You don't want to get the wrong thing. And like I do YouTube videos, but I also do like short films. And, so it's like, do I get something that's good for just YouTube videos? And it can be maybe okay for some of the short films. Do I get something for short films and use it for the YouTube? It's but it's more expensive. It's so hard. But, we take it by day and try to figure it out. That's kind of the updates for that. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, go for it. I'm going to see what's going on the page here. If anybody's seen the link, see if anybody else is going to come up. But yeah, so just let me know if you have any suggestions or anything. Let's see if we get more people in here. Yeah, I just want to. I want to start any conversations or anything with movies. If you guys have any opinions on the videos I've done already, did I seem to get those right or not? Oh, that was the other thing too. Is that I already did the Oscars, and that was probably the big first segment I did that was like a full thing for like a period of the year that obviously I'll do every year. Also, I guess the end of the year rankings and end of the decade rankings. Yeah, I came into it like right when all that was happening. And that was tough. I think for the maybe not for the end of the year, but definitely at the end of the decade again. I'm not going to rank them completely because I've just found that it was so hard. And I just wanted to include everything. And obviously I had my favorites, but it was so hard to rank them. And sometimes it's super tough comparing like these apples to oranges movies. And it's like when you're comparing like Ford v Ferrari to, I don't know, something like I'm trying to think, because that was like a really solid movie. Comparing something like that to like Hereditary, they're just two different movies, two different genres, and they were both super good. God, I loved Hereditary. It scared the crap out of me, and that's why I loved it. But those were kind of the two big segments I've done. But a lot of people do like movie reviews that are related to movies that are coming out. Obviously, that's not going to be happening for a while. But around July, I want to start doing, for all you Potterheads out there, I want to start doing a review of each of the Harry Potter movies. That's another thing that I want to be doing. And that's, I think going to run, it'll run like probably like 10 weeks or so because, there's so far the 8 movies and the 2 Fantastic Beasts. But I want to do each of those in depth. I don't want to do like I have my own ranking, and I'll do that at the end of all of them. But I want to do like an in-depth of each of them. And they're my favorite series, so I want to give it its time. But I want to start it at the end of July because it's like Harry's birthday at the end of July, and then through around the beginning of September because that's when technically everybody goes back to Hogwarts. It's so if you're a Potterhead, you understand that. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that, and I also different things like that where it's just like a long running segment. Maybe it's only one time or whatever, but I want to do things like that. I just got into Marvel a couple years ago, like 2016. I guess that is like 4 years ago now. Yeah, it was around 4 years ago that I got into this because Captain America: Civil War came out in May of 2016, and I was starting to watch all of them before that one came out. And so it was probably at least a couple weeks before. So it's been almost 4 years since I got into Marvel. I feel like a bandwagon fan, but also it has been 4 years. So I don't know. I wasn't there from the beginning, but I think I had seen Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and those were the 2 that I had seen before I really got into all of them and watched all the way through for continuity. But I want to do, when the Marvel movies start kind of picking back up, I want to maybe start doing reviews on those. Maybe not all of them. Maybe, who knows? If I can, but especially if I can start editing from here, then I can just roll them out. But definitely at least my favorites, or at least the most notable ones. Because that's the other thing too, is I want to do some reviews that, while all the movies that I've reviewed so far are pretty good, I definitely want to review some that aren't so good, because those are usually lend themselves to be a lot more fun, or at least funnier, because they're not great, so you can kind of tear into them. So I'm going to do probably those at some point. I definitely want to do all the Spider-Man movies because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, hands down. So those are some of the more long-running bits that I'll have. too coming up a little bit. Any other franchises? If you guys have ideas for franchises that you want me to watch and do reviews on, let me know. There's still a bunch of them I haven't seen. Big franchises with a lot of movies to them that are like I've seen the first Transformers and the fourth one, the dinosaur one, Age of Extinction, and then I have never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. Those I want to see. Fast and Furious, I've heard that the first few are good and then they get bad. And then I'm trying to think of any other series that are still running right now that are big ones that just will never end. I think there was another one that I just thought of. Are there any that you guys can think of? What just came out? There's been something. Well, okay. Well, there's the Jurassic World movies, and so there's one more left in this trilogy. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Sort of. I don't like how they got there, but I think it's going to be interesting. If they can do it right, I'll be okay with it. If they can make it good, if they make it like they made Fallen Kingdom, I will just be sad. Yeah. What else is coming out? Well, Star Wars is just never going to end. You're always going to have something else. I know that they're going to probably do some more anthology ones, which I think will be cool. It's never been my favorite series, but it's always been up there. I'm more of a fantasy than sci-fi. But if it's between Star Wars and like Star Trek, I'm definitely Star Wars. But I need to see The Mandalorian. And other than that, I've seen all the movies. I haven't seen the Clone Wars. I haven't seen I haven't seen either of the TV shows, but I need to see those. And the new Indiana Jones that's going to be coming out at some point. They started filming it. I know a lot of people are really upset about it, especially considering Harrison Ford's coming back and he's like 80 years old. I should be upset about it. I am not, because I love Steven Spielberg and I love Harrison Ford. Although I think I heard that Steven Spielberg may not do it now. It might be James Mangold, which I would be okay with. He did Logan, and that was really good. And Ford v Ferrari. I think he'd do a good job of it. But my fear is that he might make it a little too gritty and serious. It could have the look, but the tone might be too dark. Indiana Jones is fun, adventurous. Don't make too dark. As long as Harrison Ford's in it, I'm okay. Yeah, he's old, and it will be different. Whatever. I still love the originals, and I love Harrison Ford. He's my favorite actor, so shut up. Cool. Yeah. So let's. I'm just gonna wait for if you guys have any other questions or anything, or suggestions or whatever. Ask away. I know there's not too many people on right now, but I'm hoping some more come on later, and then I can. I don't know. Maybe I'll even repeat my spiel here. I can do this again too, because if there's not a lot of people on right now, I can do it again too, because like I said, I got time. I'm not going anywhere, obviously. There's nothing I'm doing. But for the people who watch this after, at least now, like you can have I'll keep it up here, and you can find it with the thumbnail of my stupid smile, because I keep forgetting that the thumbnail just kind of happens. It doesn't like let you pick a thumbnail or like prepare. It gives you like 3, 2, 1, and then there's your thumbnail. So it's just me smiling like an idiot. But now you have all the information for a little bit. But if people actually wanted to have like an interaction, conversation, whatever, they can. And also, whenever you do watch this, if you watch this, just I'm trying to build up the channel, build up the audience and everything. So if you're talking about movie reviews with people, if you're talking about channels and everything, and people that have movie reviews and commentary and different bits like that, just throw my channel out there. I mean, if they watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. But just trying to like spread it a little bit. So, get started. That's hard. I'm up to 35 subscribers and I'm excited. That's really cool. I never thought, because for a while I wanted to have a YouTube channel to do all these reviews, but it had never just happened. I'd never had time. I didn't know how to do it. And now a couple months later, I have subscribers and I'm excited about it. That's cool. I have like a whole thing going. I got my little title. It'll get fancier. I have one of my friends after quarantine. He wants to help me make a little outro movement segment type thing. And I think I'm going to keep my opening one. And, like I said, other than that, just, making things a little bit cleaner, smoother here and there. Obviously, the visuals of if I get a better camera. And I also want to kind of, I know you guys have seen my my little corner here where I do the reviews. Yeah, that's my director's chair. Where I do the reviews, but yeah, I want to maybe make it a little bit just something, because the only problem is I have this giant window right here. And if I do it at night, the lighting's not great. If I do it during the day, the lighting's great, but it's just really blown out. So I want to try to make some sort of corner, or designated spot that's for the channel specifically. Let's see. I don't know. What other questions you guys got? What other suggestions? Other intrigues or whatever about the channel? Let me know. Even just if you're worried about coronavirus, we can talk about that, because it is a scary world out there right now. Let's see. For whoever is just coming on, leave a comment or something, so I know who I'm talking to here, who I'm having a chat with. It's fun, it's just, I just like getting, not personal, but I like getting, just to like people, if people are subscribing to my channel, it's cool. And I just want to know people, because especially with movies is something that's like brings people together and people bond over, and people, I don't know, they'll let their guard down a little bit with movies, I think, when it comes, you watch movies together and have laughs and everything. So it's cool just to have like a interaction with people. It's not just, oh great, I have 100,000 subscribers, but I don't know anybody. Not like I can know everybody, but just to have like these little cool kind of interactions. Leave a comment and feel like we're making like a movie community. Yeah, I've been having so many technological issues today. It's hilarious. And yesterday. The only times I was doing something live. So this is the if anybody's watching until I get any like comments or anything. I don't know what to say. So um this is my room. If you've already seen the little corner I do the segments on, but yeah, I've got, as you can see, just like a ton of movie stuff. Obviously, my two Harry Potter posters and my banner, and that's a dragon thing I got from Ocean City, and then my canvas kind of. I don't even know what to call that. It's not a poster. I don't know what to call it, but it's got action on it. It's got a director's thing. My little Harry. I have a lot of Harry Potter stuff, but I also just got a lot of general Harry or movie stuff too, and lots of books and everything. Um, yeah, I'm definitely. If you've watched my channel, you know me by now. You know I'm a nerd, but actually, maybe not because I haven't really done a whole lot of reviews on nerdy things yet, have I? I've done Star Wars. I did Star Wars, and then other than that, I mean, I did Doctor Sleep, but that was like more just movie nerd stuff. Um, what else did I do? I don't think I've done really anything that is like actually nerd stuff yet besides Star Wars, and that wasn't even like a good one to be nerdy over. So yeah, that'll be coming up when we do Marvel and Harry Potter and all. That'll come up. If you're nerdy now and awkward and funny in that way, just wait, it'll come. To the one or so people who have been checking in, thank you for sticking it through. I know there's not like a whole lot of questions going on right now, but I mean that's to be expected, you know. But if you have any, you can definitely ask away. If not, then I'm just chilling here. If for when people join, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. But um, yeah, thanks for sticking through. I mean, at least I feel like I'm talking to one person. Talking to somebody here. I'm sure a lot of more people will watch it afterward because it's getting kind of late. I mean, quarantine, people are going a bit later anyway, but it's getting sort of late. But a lot of people watch for the all the updates and everything too. Also, does anybody like remember what day it is anymore? I just thought about the fact that I was like, oh, it's a Friday night. That's probably why there's not a whole lot of people in right now. I feel like doing stuff, and then I was like, no, it's quarantine. Well, I mean, I guess people can be doing stuff on their on like Zoom and everything. I had not heard of Zoom until literally like 2 weeks ago, and then it was like the biggest thing. Apparently, it's always been a thing, but I've never heard of it. But I guess people are doing a lot of. I think there's like Zoom happy hours going on and things like that. Um, so maybe they're doing that. I don't know, but um, I'm just chilling. Maybe I should start like if people don't start asking questions soon to like start like what was it saying all the Harry Potter movies or something like that. It's like we start off on the what was it Privet Drive, go from there. People are like, God no, all right, fine, I'll ask you a question. That's what I should have called it. Quarantine and awkwardness. That's what I'm saying. It's just I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty efficient at it. Pretty professional in awkwardness. So instead of question and answer, we're gonna deem it quarantine and awkwardness because I think that's where we all are at this point. Quarantine and awkwardness. Let's see. Since you know what, I just thought of. People can ask their own questions later, but I can just think of some facts about me in terms of my movie life. Now that I think about it, because like I said, I can do more of these later if people have other specific questions, but I'll go with the basics for now. So let's see. My favorite movie is probably obviously the big one. My favorite movie. Now, anybody who knows me knows that this is a tough question. Obviously, for any film major, it is. Filmmaker. I keep saying major like I'm still in college. My film friends all have the same thing. And I remember I was with my cousin one night, and we were playing a game, and that was the first question. And she and her fiance at the time were on one team, and it was me and my brother like on another, something like that. And she had to try to guess my favorite movie. And she was like, oh, God, I'm never going to be able to do this because he'll just be like, well, on Tuesday it's this, and on Wednesday it's this one. And the only reason she said that is because I kind of like cheat a little bit because I say that like Harry Potter is my number one series. I feel like all of them are going to like collectively be it. So sometimes I'm like, okay, well, in terms of those two, that series, like Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite. But then I'm like, well, if it's not the series, like just any other regular standalone movie, and I have a few. I'm still not quite sure which would be my top, but I definitely have like a top few. Jurassic Park, from when I was younger. The Giver, The Revenant, La La Land, the BFG. What else? There's just so many. And the funny thing is, a lot of them come from 2016. That was just a really good year for movies. But I think if I had to go with one, it would either be The Giver or Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's not a Harry Potter, Because then, I mean, I love Lord of the Rings too and The Hobbits, but everything's in a series. If I had to pick like a standalone movie, I guess it'd be The Giver, because even Jurassic Park is a series. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbits, and then like Marvel movies. In terms of like series, Indiana Jones, and then Marvel movies. So those are my favorite movies. And like I said, that was a very complicated way of saying that. Trying to think what other. Let's see. My least favorite movies. My least favorite movies. I hate. There's a lot of early Disney movies I don't like, just because they're really weird and dark and sad. But I think my least favorite. I think it's a tie between Oliver and Company and Fox and the Hound. Oliver and Company, I just don't like any of the characters, and they're just the animation is just I don't like it. But then Fox and the Hound is just like unnecessarily sad. I remember like when I was really young, I just woke up crying in the middle of the night one time because I was like, the fox, like it was sad, folks. If you've seen it, you understand that scene where she takes him out into the middle of the woods and leaves him there, and she's just driving away. So my least favorite movie overall, though, I don't think I ever walk away. I rarely walk away from a movie going, I hated that. There's always something I can find that I liked in it, even if I never watched it again. I remember one time I walked away from Bridge to Terabithia and thought, that wasn't it. Did not like that. And it was because if you haven't seen it by now, you're never going to see it. She dies. The kid dies trying to get to Terabithia. This made up land. Made up, I don't know. I don't even know if it's made up. But she swings across the river, falls, her head, and dies. Like, what the hell? Also, for COPPA reasons, I marked this as not for kids. So, I gotta do my swearing. I hate it. It's so dumb because I naturally I swear all the time, just by accident. And when I have to in my reviews and live chats and things like that, it's like I completely forget what they are. So then I have to convolutedly throw it in there somewhere. It's a pain in the ass. So my least favorite movies, I guess I mean, I don't really have a whole lot that I can think of that I just didn't like at all. One second. I'm gonna check on something quick. Sorry, fan was calling. Yeah, so those are the least favorites. I'm trying to think what else. My favorite genre is fantasy, but sci-fi fantasy. I mean, kind of like Star Wars, but I hate putting them kind of in the same category because sci-fi and fantasy are two very different things, at least for me. But my favorite is fantasy, followed up probably by either drama or I don't know. I mean, I would say drama. It really depends. Maybe thriller or adventure. I would say adventure, drama and adventure. But I really haven't been getting into thrillers lately. Honestly, lately I look for different movies. Obviously, I look for specific genres. I really don't like rom-coms unless they're good. Things like that. But honestly, just whatever catches my eye. And if the thing is I like original ideas. Really original things. That's why I love Jordan Peele. He has some really interesting original ideas. And like Parasite, that was really cool. Things like that. So while I do like different genres, I'm always looking for just something interesting, whatever catches my eye, even if it doesn't seem like it's in my genre. The genres that I like. Sometimes I look at something that's fantasy and I'm like, that doesn't look good, or from what I've heard. Thing is I obviously am not trying to judge a movie before I see it, but there's just some things that you know instinctively that's not something that really I'm clicking with, at least right now. I'm not going to say it's not good. It probably could be good, but just at the moment, trying to pick something, in my night, I'm just going to go with this one rather than this one. Just whatever looks interesting, Let's see. And my favorite actor and actress. Again, I'm so indecisive. I'm a perfectionist, guys, and I'm so indecisive. I have a few favorite actors: Harrison Ford, Eddie Redmayne. There's somebody. I'm trying to think of people who, like, if I see them that they're in a movie, I'm like, yeah, okay, I have to see this. I would say maybe I'm trying to look at all my movies to like jog my memory of what. Oh, Martin Freeman. I love him. And kind of going along with those would probably be loosely my favorite characters. If I had to answer that question too, is who are my favorite characters? The people who play those characters are my favorite actors. So Newt Scamander and Bilbo Baggins, they're two of my favorite characters. They're introverts, and I love them, but they have more than meets the eye, at first. And then in terms of actresses, I really like Daisy Ridley, and again, that's because Rey is also one of my favorite characters in recent years. I'm trying to think who else. I really like. Well, I'm trying to think. It's funny, they all just like fly out of your head. Have you ever had that? Someone's like, think of a song, and you're like, I know no songs. What's music? I'm trying to think of other actresses that I really like from any movie. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna jog my memory here. Famous actresses. I think I'd know this by now. I never actually think about these things. And I don't want to just say somebody just to say somebody if I don't actually actively like them. Because I think a lot of people are really good, but I'm just trying to think of the people who I like really want to, see. Like, I think, okay, they're in the movie, that it's going to be good, or at least I'm going to be excited about it. And there's definitely a lot of people who they're good in one movie, or at least I like them in one movie. There's a lot of actors and actresses who I'm like, I don't want to see you in any other role. Sam Neill from Jurassic Park as Dr. Grant. Tim Robbins in Shawshank Redemption. Even Jamie Lee Curtis from Knives Out. I really I loved her in that role, and I don't want to see her in anything else. I mean, I've seen like Freaky Friday, but I don't want to see. There's some people that I'm just like, they were so good in that role, and I connect them with that role that I don't want to see them in anything else. Not that I won't. I mean, I've seen Tim Robbins in other things. I've seen Sam Neill in other things, but I love him in that role, Let's see here. You know what? You know who I will say before this year, I wouldn't have said it, but I really like Laura Dern now. I used to like her before. Oh, hi Patricia. Yay, we have people commenting. I'm going through some of my favorites of things because I was waiting on questions. So I'm going through some of my favorites. I've done favorite movie and things like that. Right now I'm on favorite actress, but I'm going to say I really like Helena Bonham Carter. She's as a person, I think she's cool. And like I said, Daisy Ridley. But Laura Dern, you did. Okay, well, I thought she was fine in Jurassic Park. And She was fine in that. But I never really, no, I never really grappled onto anything else that she, like, I know she was in Blue Velvet and I saw that, but that movie overall was just weird. It was good. It's just weird. No. But I like her. I do. I just never hooked on anything else I really did, but I like her because I saw Marriage Story and that was my favorite role that she's done. She was so good in that movie. And then Little Women too. She was in that, and I really liked her in that. But like Marriage Story, that's by far my favorite role that she's done. She was so good. It was perfect for her. And then that was one of those roles that if you had told me, okay, Laura Dern's going to play it, I'm going to be like, really? And then you do it, and it's like, okay, well, nobody else could have played that role. Like, you know, trying to think who else I like. Let's see here. I will say, Tilda Swinton is kind of weird, but she plays some very interesting characters. Like, really interesting. If you need an interesting original character, cast Tilda Swinton. I like Anne Hathaway. She's good. She can play a lot of different. She has range. She can play a lot of different types. You know. Yeah, those I really like those guys. That's how I feel. Oh, the role thing that I said with Laura Dern. The fact that you wouldn't see them as that. Yeah, me too. Let's see, what else? Favorite director, Spielberg, Steven Spielberg. I know. Bandwagon, right? Wrong. No. Everyone's always like, that's such a typical answer. Well, I liked him since I was very young. Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. That helps. But Spielberg, no, don't. No, I know. I know you're proud of me. I know you're proud of me. Thank you. Favorite directors, yes, Spielberg. I loved him. I mean, he's the reason between Spielberg movies and Harry Potter. Those are the two things that was like, okay, I'm going to be a filmmaker, and I'm going to be a director. If I had to pick other directors that I really like, if I had to pick directors that I really like recently, Nolan's always a big one, a big good one he's got. But I think there's a lot of interesting directors coming out of just the last year or two alone. Ari Aster, super excited for what else he'll do. Jordan Peele, Damien Chazelle, Alejandro Inarritu. Bong Joon-ho. I mean, there's just so many good ones. And obviously you have the ones that are like big. Whereas Spielberg has now gotten over his prime and he's just that person that everyone's like, okay, yeah, Spielberg, whatever. Now, I think that's where Tarantino and Scorsese are starting to get. Nolan a little bit. He was, a big 2000s guy, but he's still going at it. All of them are still going at it. But I think these up-and-coming guys are really going to take over this decade. And I'm really excited about that because they have a lot of really good original stuff. Let's see. So I did actor and actress, character, and director. What else is there in favorites or least favorites? I guess I could do least favorites of those. I don't think I really have a least favorite director. Least favorite character. Oh, this is hard. It'd be so much easier if I've seen 3 movies. That one's hard. I actually may have to rescind my wanting to answer that because I don't think I can think of one that I actively hate off the top of my head. I know there are ones that I hate, but drag them. I don't. All right, let me think of actors and actresses that I don't like. Okay, and there are some things that's just personal taste. It's not like that I hate them or I think they're a bad person. They're obviously really good people. But everything she plays in, I just don't like Bryce Dallas Howard. Like, always just playing like a terrible person. Which probably, when I say I don't like them in the movies that they play, she is probably a great person. I just hate everything she plays. Even in Jurassic World, when she plays a good person, she is such a shrew. She gets better in the second one. That was one of the only good things about the second one, is that she's a lot better. But even then, like, I just and then least favorite actor. I want to like automatically just go to Bryce Dallas Howard is Ron Howard's daughter. She was in Jurassic World with the hair and running in the heels. She was in The Help. She was in Rocket Man. And something else too. Hold on, what was it? I can't remember. Those are the three that I know. So she was in something else. Hold on, it's gonna bug me. What was in Bryce Dallas Howard? What was? Oh, okay. She was in Pete's Dragon, the live action, but that was okay. Oh, duh. She was in Spider-Man 3 as Gwen Stacy. Actually, she was good in that. I did like her in that. Because she was very genuine, you know. Least favorite actor. I want to like automatically be like Tom Cruise, because he's that, you know, that one guy that everyone's like, oh, okay, it's another Tom Cruise movie, just a big action thing. But like, he's actually like a stupidly good actor. Like, everything he's in, you just like. You said the heels and the hair. I was about to be like, oh no, I don't know. Patricia. Ron Howard. He was on Happy Days. Then he turned to be a director, and he made A Beautiful Mind, which he won the Oscar for, I believe. He made 2000. What? No. Apollo 11. I don't. Oh, it was in 2001. I was like, I don't know why. I almost said 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was so far apart. And then he made what was it? There was something with Chris Hemsworth. Actually, two movies with Chris Hemsworth. In The Heart of the Sea. Rush? It was some racing movie. Yeah. Oh, yes. Tom Cruise does have it. I think he may have gotten that fixed. I don't know. I can't unsee it. But the acting makes it better. Weird dude. But I do like Tom Cruise. Actually, I like him in his earlier stuff better than the stuff now, because the stuff now is just what has become the stereotypical Tom Cruise movie is the generic stuff. But his earlier stuff, Taps, he was in Taps. He was really good. I mean, it was like he was a strong, aggressive character, but like he was really good. And then I think his first role was in this Ridley Scott movie called Legend. I've only seen half of it with my aunt. I need to finish it because we were watching it at like 3 a.m. We needed to go to bed. And it's this really, really fantasy movie. I mean, even for fantasy people, it's less fantasy. I guess Scientology could fix your teeth for you, possibly. But yeah, he was in this movie called Legend, and it's super fantasy, but it's really just not like ever. Who do I look at it and I'm like, it's them again. Let me see. I gotta look up actors now, just to refresh my mind, because I'm indecisive and I can't think of anybody. Famous actors. Okay, also, two of my other favorite actors, Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp. Love them. But some of my least favorite. I like how it's just all these male actors and then Angelina Jolie, and then it just keeps going with male actors. There were definitely a few that I didn't like at first, like Matthew McConaughey, until I saw them in more stuff. Robin Williams, one of my favorites for sure. When I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, he's the funny guy. And then my mom was like, man, he's in a lot of really serious stuff. And then I saw the serious stuff, and my God, he was just so good. Man, I guess I just really like everybody. I don't know. John Travolta is kind of weird. I don't know. I don't particularly love everything he's in. Just a weird one. I don't know. I'm gonna say I like everyone. No. I mean I can come back to that one another time just because I can't really think of somebody I don't actively like. You know? Even then with Dallas or Bryce Dallas Howard, it was just the character she played. Oh, God, thank you. It's more so I'm just indecisive. I mean, that's what this channel is really about is, finding the good in something. That everything that's really good has imperfections, and everything that's not great has something to offer most of the time, unless it's like Supergirl or The Room. No, The Room's really funny. If I'm the hero the world needs but doesn't deserve, that makes me Harvey Dent, which makes me Two-Face. It's really funny. That's kind of cool, actually. Although I feel like I would definitely be Jim Carrey's Riddler. Because, the hair. Let's see. Any questions, Patricia, you can think of? Okay, my serious question is, what actor do you think will play the lead hero scientist in the upcoming disaster movie about how the U.S. saved us from coronavirus? Who would play the lead actor or actors? I mean, do you think the scientist is a male or female? I don't know. I mean, is there a specific scientist you're talking about, or just like in general? Because if we're talking a male scientist, right? Up to you. Okay, I'll do both. If we're talking scientist, somebody who's really good at like sciencey stuff. But let's see, they would have to probably be someone who's really dedicated. Somebody who's really dedicated, somebody who can play intelligence, who has that kind of. You know what? My very first thought was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I feel like from inception, he has that kind of logical mind that, but he's also like, gotta get this done. He can play that, not aggressiveness, but that like, I need this now. I think he'd be really good. And then if I had to pick an actress to play a scientist, again, they'd have to be determined. They'd have to be intelligent and, forward thinking. If Leslie Knope was a real person, I would say her. No. Let's see. I would say somebody who. And you know what? If we're gonna go the choice of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's not like hardened guy, he's can be sensitive, but like he needs to do. I think Emma Watson, because she's definitely got the like determined and what's the word I'm looking for? You can like a leadership, to get things out of people. So I would say Emma Watson alongside Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What? Well, maybe it's Laura Dern. No. Yeah, I would say those two. Funny enough. Wait, weren't they in that selfie together? They were. That's funny. All right, that was a good question. I liked that. Plot twist. Do you have another question? I'm trying to think. What other favorites or least favorites I have? Oh, okay. Some of my favorite shots. I actually am making a thing or I was in the middle of it before all this quarantine stuff happened. I'm making kind of my brain is tiny. Oh, you're fine. I'm just gonna keep filling. Hey, I was filling up like 45 minutes worth of questions before. At least I have a person to like ask questions. If I had to think of my favorite shot, I'm working on a compilation type thing right now of my favorite shots, scores, scenes. But if I had to think of some of my favorite shots off the top of my head, they would be the let's see. I'll say some of my top 10. My favorite shot of all time is Dumb looking down at Harry in Prisoner of Azkaban in the Great Hall when he said, "For in dreams we enter a world that's entirely our own." That quote is my favorite quote, and simultaneously my favorite shot because it looks up to the Great Hall ceiling and it's like starry night and it's got like 2 shooting stars. And it reminds me of when we would go to the Rainforest Cafe and you could see the stars in the sky. That was really fun. That's one of my favorite shots. I also love the shot where in Rise of the Guardians where Pitch they're in the air and Pitch sends all of his dark horses at Jack and he like bursts open in ice or something like that and like freezes all of the. I mean, that is just so cool. I also love in Last Crusade when he's about to go over the cliff and just it zooms in on the close up of his eyes and his hat blows off. Such a good shot. I'm trying to think what else. I'm not going to try to spoil anything here, but in Jojo Rabbit, I think I said this actually in my review, but in Jojo Rabbit, there's a scene where Jojo and a butterfly, he stands up, the camera pans up with him, and we see something that he looks at that is just tragic. The way that it just surprises you was so well done, and it was set up. Love that shot. I'm trying to think what other shots there are that I love. Just shots specifically. Even though I didn't really love the movie that much, in The Lighthouse, I mean, most of the shots in that one, obviously, but one that really got my eye was actually just a close-up of Willem Dafoe's eye, and it just was saying so much by just looking around. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other shots. In The Giver, when he's on the boat, and everything is just colored for the first time, and it's like super, super colorful. It was really cool, too. So those are some of my favorite shots. As you can tell, I'm a very visual, colors and magic and everything type of person. But I also really I really like shots of eyes too. I guess they just tell a whole lot, And then favorite scenes. If I had to talk about a whole scene, when Harry first enters Diagon Alley, the Buckbeak flying scene, when they're going up to the castle. Really, any of the battle scenes are just really friggin' cool. What else? There was something else I just thought. Oh, in Mockingjay Part 1, the dam scene. Actually, both of the forest and the dam, but particularly the dam scene with the hanging tree song in the background. That whole scene that gave me chills when I first saw it. Trying to think what other scenes. Oh, Singing in the Rain, the Singing in the Rain team, and Make 'Em Laugh. That's another genre I like, musicals. I love those. They have to be good one, but I love musicals. Singing in the Rain, and then I would say Snow from White Christmas. That number, or not number, but that song scene. Let's see what else. Oh, Back to the Future. Honestly, all the scenes Back to the Future, but I would say specifically the diner scene when he meets his dad. There's just so many good little moments in that scene. And yeah, I'll say that one because I have to stop myself. Oh, Jurassic Park when they first see the dinosaurs, the entire taking the sunglasses off. I just remember it from when I was a kid watching it. I loved that scene. I love the movie, but I love that scene. Let's see. We got a new one. You're tasked to shoot the next big Netflix series. Ooh. And Netflix series are really original. Yes, they're called Netflix originals, but you know what I mean. It can be based off any book you've read, and you get to partner with any director, living or dead. This is a good one. What book do you choose, and who do you partner with? Okay. Huh. Wow. Okay. Does it have to be something that has never been made in any form? Wait, what did I say? Bad pun was bad. What did I say? I probably didn't. It can be anything. I didn't even recognize I made a pun. Oh, original. Oh, okay. No, I'm not. I'm not. I am. I am never remaking Harry Potter, ever. If I'm thinking of books, because a series is cool. I wasn't gonna say Harry Potter. A series is cool because you can go in depth about a lot more of something. Never ever, because I can never do it right. Obviously, there's room in the very far future for it to be maybe remade if they have to, just because you can make it more consistent. And if it's a series, you can go in more in depth about some of the things that were never touched in the movies. But that's what I think that makes the original series, I'm saying the original as if there's already more than one. The series really beautiful is that as things changed, it worked. Directors changed and it got darker. The tones changed, the cinematography changed, and it worked. But you can also, for people who are more fans of the books and the consistency there, make it consistent in a series. However, for this question, two of them came to mind. When I wanted to be a filmmaker, the first thing I ever wanted to make before they made it, and then now it's of course one of my favorite movies, was The Giver. That was the first thing I ever wanted to make. And I think it'd be cool to do that, and have depth about like the memories. But there's also I read Fahrenheit 451 and I really liked that. Because Netflix. Oh, that's the other thing too. Is Netflix original series? They're short. They're like 8 episodes, so I could do like a 1-book thing. Oh, that's interesting. I'm stuck between those two. Between Fahrenheit 451 and The Giver, because with The Giver you could do like 1 to 2 episodes on just a bunch of memories and stuff. But they also did it really well in the movie. Like I can't. This is tough. All right, I think I'm gonna go with Fahrenheit 451 because I think they made a movie with it. Yeah, they made a movie with Michael Shannon and B. Jordan. I don't know how it did, but I don't think it did well. But I think it'd be really cool to do that book in a limited, like 8-episode series, and focus on, because I think there's like 15 chapters or something, maybe like 2 chapters per episode. I think that'd be really cool and make it kind of not artsy, but like interesting, like whimsical. I think that'd be cool, like a very dystopian type thing. I've always wanted to do dystopia. But who would I partner with for that? Probably. That's a good question. Who does dystopia really well? I'm trying to think of dystopian movies. I think for the context of books and like literature and societies, I want somebody who would give an interesting look to it. Because like you have Francis Lawrence, who did The Hunger Games, the last three at least. But they had kind of the same look to them the whole time, you know? I want something that's going to be interesting, not like this dreary, dark sort of dystopia. Something interesting, you know? And I think, let's see. I'm trying to think of my favorites of recent. Spielberg would probably make it a little... I mean, okay. I know I'm being really long-winded about this. I'd be perfect for a game show because I talk out all my answers. I always want to work with Spielberg, obviously. Umbrella Academy. For the series or for who makes it? Let's see. I think if I had to go with somebody, because I know any living or dead. Oh, man. I'm just trying to think of who would be best for the story. The director. You know, I have never seen Umbrella Academy, but that definitely has, I think, sort of the vibe from what I have seen in the trailers. Now, should I go with who's good with this for the story or who I just would want to work with? Probably for the story, because that would be selfish of me to be like, oh yeah, the Alfred Hitchcock. But now it's just weird. Thinking off the top of my head, I think I'm gonna go. No, you know what? I got it. Spike Jonze. He did Her, and that was like this weird parallel world of our own that's like almost ours, but not quite. It's not quite dystopian, but it's more so just like slightly different. And it has that like realistic but sort of off feel, and it's got the sort of whimsical kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Romantic sort of look. No, not Spike Lee. Spike Jonze. Spike Lee did like Black Klansman and Do the Right Thing. Spike Jonze, I think I just know him for Her, but I think that has the kind of the same sort of romantical, not in like a couples sense, but like that sort of tone in terms of, you know, love for books and things like that. I think he would be really good in that sense. Either, obviously, I mean, I think Jordan Peele could do it too, but Jordan Peele and Ari Aster, they're really good at this original stuff, but they are really just for thrillers and, or not that they can't do other stuff, but I've only seen them doing thrillers and horror. But from what I've seen of Spike Jonze, I know he did something else that did he do Being John Malkovich? I think he did. Hold on. Spike Jonze. He did Spike Jonze movies. Yep, Being John Malkovich, Where the Wild Things Are. Yeah, I think he would be really good at doing it. Doing the world and all, you know, of this sort of dystopian. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see. So I did scenes and shots. Scores. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave that. I'll do scenes and shots too in another video, but I'm going to leave scores because I have like a bunch of different ones that I want to put them in. Tim and I did the podcast on scores that we're going to put up, but I have my own kind of list, not talking about scores in general, but just my personal favorites. I don't want to leave those a surprise. That was a good question. Yeah, my final answer would be Fahrenheit 451 with Spike Jonze. Not the original answer I would have thought I would have given, but I think that's a pretty good one. I like it. I'm excited for this now. I'm gonna call up Spike Jonze and just make Fahrenheit 451 for Netflix. I'll put that on my my to-do list for tomorrow. Any other questions? Or hey, Patricia, anything, or whoever else is watching? Because I know Patricia's on here, but um, anybody else who's watching, any other questions or things you want to know about me in terms of my film making stuff or film watching stuff, or anything that you want to see on the channel? Ooh, here we go. We all know about the anti-hero, the love triangle, and the manic pixie dream girl. But what new tropes do you see emerging in contemporary works of film? This is like, damn, this is like getting into like my college film theory class type of stuff with Michael Duffy. That sounds like such a Michael Duffy question. Oh, let's see. What new tropes do you see emerging? God, Lord. What is the manic pixie dream girl? I don't think I've ever heard of that. Also, I don't think an anti-hero is so much of a trope as it is just an archetype. But I know what you're going for. What new tropes do I see? Well, okay. This is a weird one, but snow. Obviously, snow's been in film forever. If you've ever seen Dr. Zhivago, that's a bunch of snow. But battles in the snow, because if you've never noticed, battles used to be just battles in the sun. They were just Western, or just like these old adventures, like let's go get them, boys, and have like the rallying music and everything, or you'd have like these really big gunfights or whatever, and just in the regular sun, or in a historical movie, whatever. Then people were like, let's get really moody and let's do battles in the rain, in a storm, like the battle in the Two Towers of Lord of the Rings, and every other battle ever. It's like in the rain. This is all the time. But now we've gotten to this point where we're like, battle in the rain is cliche, but we want it to be moody and have some sort of weight to it. And I think snow is a really good idea to do that. Now, there's been in recent years, a ton of snow battles. You have the Twilight. What was Breaking Dawn? I'm pretty sure that was in the snow. Yeah. That snowball fight was fun. Perfect quirky romantic interest that comes along solely to fix the problems of the main dude. Oh, is that like Is that like, I don't remember her name. Scott Pilgrim, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Is that kind of like that sort of thing? Maybe. But yeah, so there's a bunch of battles in the snow because Twilight did it. Harry Potter did it a little bit. It was mostly at Hogwarts, but there was snow on the ground. Battle of the Five Armies was in the snow at first, right? Yes, there was snow. I know there's been another. The Dark Knight Rises. There was snow. And the thing is that's good because it's not the cliche rain, but it's more precipitation that blinds you, that is more of an obstruction in the battle. It's something visual to look at. Plus, you have the obvious color theory of blood on the snow, red on white. Something's happened here. Something major, something impure, something destructive. Whenever you see red on white, it means something has been vandalized. Example I know of that in my head is a Zoe Deschanel character in that movie with that dude. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Something Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer. Is that it? I think that they run together. Yeah. Yeah. So when you see blood on the snow, it's like, okay, something really terrible's happened here. And that's another reason that they do it. I'm trying to think any other battles that have taken place in the snow. And it just looks ominous, rain is like a cliched sort of ominous, obviously, because it's a storm. But with snow, it's like, if you ever been, if you go outside in the snow, all the clouds are like kind of just gray, but not in like a a scary way, just in like a weird way, like you're in this whole other world. And so that's what I think. I was actually gonna do a whole thing on this, but snow battle. Do this a different way. Battles in the snow in movies. Well, obviously Game of Thrones. There's a ton of those, and The Revenant. That's less of a what do you call it? That's yes, it is liminal space. The Revenant's less of a battle, more of just like a very aggressive fight. But yeah, so I think that's a big trope that's been really cool. It's been coming up. I'm trying to think of other tropes that have been happening. I mean, there are so many that continue to happen anyway. Pals. Yes. Tom Hardy's character in that movie, all he wanted was those friggin' pals. There's tropes all the time that happen. I mean, somebody goes up to the microphone and they tap on it and it goes, and it shows that they're awkward. I hate that one. I'm trying to think of, let's see, tropes. I'm trying to think of movies that have come out that have been like okay movies, and probably because they've been bogged down with tropes. Recent movie tropes. I'm gonna cheat and look up to see if anybody's some recent movie tropes. Oh, true. Kill the boss, and somehow the rest of the bad guys will just kind of chill out and go away. That's very true. That is really true. You kill the main villain, and somebody else is just like, never mind, or they just die. Like I think my favorite example of that is Lord of the Rings. How they destroy the ring, the tower comes down, the Eye of Sauron comes down, and the entirety of Mordor just like crumbles right up to the point that our main characters and all of the good people are at, and it literally just crumbles around them and stops. It's so great, but it's like, why? Come on, that's Jackson. There are orcs that get away, but like, now they're just kind of they're there. We can kill them, and they're afraid. I'm trying to think what other. Let's see. I want to have a snow battle. I think that'd be really cool. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other movies, because I know there's in any regular conversation I'd probably talk about. Once somebody's like, what's a trope? I'm like, I don't know. Because now they like all fly out of my head. But I know there's like at least one or two things I'm always noticing that I'm always so bummed about. What are they? That are like, not just your regular ones that everybody knows, like a jump scare. Something you turn around, nothing's there. You turn around again, and there it is. It works actually. Like the Invisible Man, that's something that actually worked a little bit. That was kind of the point. I'm going to go with the snow thing for now. If I think of another one, I'll let you know. Actually, if I think of a couple, I'll probably maybe make a video on it. Make a whole thing out of it, Speaking of games, I really love cinematic story-driven games like Last of Us, Walking Dead. Did you hear that The Last of Us got pushed back, Part 2? Not that I play it. I say that like I'm actually super upset. I've never played it, but I know you play it. I will make a whole thing about tropes. Actually, you know what? For everybody who doesn't know him, I know you don't, Patricia, but Josh, on his channel Alpino Art, I might make, because he loves tropes. So I think maybe I'll ask him if he wants to do a video essay on it, because we're going to actually do a video essay on that. And we're going to do a video essay on, if he wants to do that. And then we're actually planning on doing a video essay on continuity in or the lack thereof in animation. Okay, so Walking Dead and Detroit Becoming Human. Would you consider directing a video game? That's interesting. These are really good questions. Maybe. Because in video games, I mean, I don't play them a whole lot, so I gotta familiarize myself more with, because when I play video games, it's like I play GTA to drive around in a car or not think for an hour. But in terms of ones that are like story driven, I have to familiarize myself with the conventions of it and kind of the just the process, I guess. But I'm assuming, I mean, with something like a video game, there's so many different tangents you can go on, but ultimately it leads you to an end that you're supposed to get to. It's not like you can just go anywhere. And in that case, I think I would rather actually write. I mean, for me, writing and directing, not that they're synonymous, but I want to do them together. If I had to pick between writing and directing a video game, I would probably write it, because it's kind of like, probably like more so like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. There's little tangents and things like that, but you're ultimately trying to get to an end. But the thing about directing is that I like the aspects of directing that work better for film, because while obviously the story is very important, that's where the writing comes in. But related to acting and the shots and creating meaning with shots and montage of shots. So I think I would rather write for a video game and direct for a film, because I want to be on set with the actors, coming up with characters, coming up with scenes and moments, working together, collaborating on it, and also on the cinematic side, having specific shots that go together instead of kind of like the whole world that the animators can create in the video game, and you can move around. I like composition of shots specifically. I love lighting too, don't get me wrong, but composition of shots is my favorite thing. What really works for story-driven games? What kind of immersive story would you be interested in telling? Oh. And then not so, it has actually 30 endings. You can, oh, yeah, that would be stressful. Because I would want, that's the other thing too, is if it has a couple different endings, maybe that would be cool for writing, because like with something like Parasite, that could have had like a bunch of different endings. And that's what stressed me out, is that it only had one. And I was like, but what about this? What about this? As a screenwriter, I'm like, God, I would have had to think about every different ending and then have to choose. And I probably would have accidentally started cramming stuff in, and it would have suffered for it. But with that's actually interesting, because then I could put all the different endings in that I want. So that's kind of cool. But again, more as a writer than a director. Yes, send me that video. I want to know. But let's see, what kind of immersive story would I be interested in telling? I mean, I don't know. Probably something fantasy. Because I'd have to think of something. But if I had to think of just like a broad spectrum of like a world or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be something, fantasy wise. I mean, because with fantasy, I mean, things like Game of Thrones, you can use all different kinds of settings and things like that. Like, I know Game of Thrones, like they have every single type of like biome and like sort of type of place that you could think of. Like they have beaches, they have mountains, they have rivers and bridges, they've got castles and land, and I mean, just everything. It's so cool. Like for The Last of Us and Walking Dead, it's a zombie apocalypse about survival and sacrifice. It's almost about civil rights and what qualities qualifies as human. Let's see. I love group stuff. A lot of the scripts I've been writing, or at least one big script I've been writing, is a group thing. And I love group stuff like The Walking Dead. That's why I love The Walking Dead, is because of that idea of who's in your group, who's not, who becomes part of your group. You know, half of the series, they get so paranoid that anybody starts to come into their group and, oh, you're fine. Anybody starts to come into their group and suddenly it's like they're the enemy. 2 seasons later, they're a part of the group that these people are protecting. And that's a really interesting dynamic that I love. Bringing new people in, being in the group, you know, kind of thing. Who's going to be the one to sacrifice themselves, and who's going to be the one to not be in the group anymore, and who's going to survive all the way through, that kind of thing. So I really like that kind of stuff, you know, that group dynamic, and having all different types of personalities and diversity and everything in it. That makes it really interesting. You have different pairings of people, you know, going off together. I think that'd be really cool. Probably in more so of a journey rather than a disaster, you know. I think a journey would be cool to do, like a quest for something. Or maybe even just like, you know, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. It really feels like a D&D campaign. Let's see. Any other questions or things you want to see in the channel? I know you weren't here, I think, for the beginning of it. So basically, the rundown was that in the future, I'm going to keep doing movie reviews. I'm going to start my think pieces. One of them being like, probably the first one being animation. Is it a genre or a medium? And what qualifies as animation? I'm going to do more of my in defense ofs. The next one's probably going to be for the Hobbits. And I'm going to start my TV show bits, my segments on TV shows. I have 2 TV shows that could be put in that, but I think they're going to be in defense of, because I feel like I need to defend the later half of each of those series. And then there was something else. I'm going to continue with little bits like the in July through September, I want to do, you know, going through all the Harry Potter movies, things like that. I think that was it. The think pieces, the in defense of, the TV shows. Yeah. And then just regular movie reviews. There's not anything new really coming out. So it's going to be mostly my favorites for right now. Yeah, so that's going to be what's coming. But if there's anything else you guys want to see in the channel, let me know. Because, because I think I have a good amount right now, especially considering I can't edit. But I definitely want to put things in the future that you guys want to see. It's all about what you guys want to see, obviously. But if there's any other segments you guys can think of, I think for fun you could try something like prop where your fans give you some elements, props, and you just go like, who would you cast shots you would create, what the story would be. That'd be cool. I like that. I gotta think of a title for that. Let's see. Because right now I was going to campus to edit, and obviously I can't do that right now. And my computer doesn't hold. It does hold Adobe, but it lags a lot because it's a little bit older. And I have my laptop at least, and my computer here, in my house. It might. I haven't tried it yet, but I just thought about it today that I'm going to try that and see if it works. But we'll see. So right now, everything forward will be unedited until I can either figure that out, or I can get back to campus after this is all over. So, but it's all going to be unedited. Pull some strings. How would you be able to pull some strings? Because I have Adobe. It's just the actual using of it. Also, for anybody out there who has Adobe, if you don't know, I still have to do it. But right now, they're giving you, either if you call or you go online, either 2 or 3 free months of Adobe. So your subscription payments would be suspended until then. I think it's like 2 months if you or do it online, maybe 3 if you call or something like that. But yeah. So Yes, I mean that's the thing is I have my account. Um, it's just the actual computer won't hold it for some reason. Like it'll go on there and everything. I downloaded Adobe, but it just lags so much. But thank you. Um is a very generous offer. Thing is like I want to be able to do it when it's not um oh no, you're fine, you're fine. It's the actual hardware of it rather than the software. But yeah. No, that's okay. I mean, I just want to get things out to people, whether they're unedited or edited, whatever. I just want to be able to get things out to people. They may not be as funny, but at least they'll have the videos out there for the reviews and everything. And this gives me time to do stuff while other movies aren't coming out because when it comes to movies coming out, there's so many at once. The thing is this year they were going to be nice and spread out, and now that everything's being pushed back, everything's going to come out in the fall. So there's going to be just like a slew of movies I'm going to have to see at one time to do all the reviews. All the Marvel ones that are being pushed back, A Quiet Place Part 2, Mulan, everything that was going to be coming out is going to be coming out in the fall now, possibly, with everything else that was already coming out in the fall. I think The Kingsman, I wanted to see that. Yeah, if there is be optimistic. We have to be optimistic. Also, there better be a fall. Fall's my favorite time of the year. That's another one of my favorites. Doesn't have to do with movies, but my favorite time of the year. But yeah, I'll have to. I wanna think of a name, or if anybody has a name for that segment. That's really cool. I like that people give me. That's probably something that I could do when I have more subscribers because then people will probably be giving me more ideas for like I can have people like pick from the elements and the prompts and everything, and then I could do it when I have more subscribers and have a little bit more um, interactions and backs and forths going on and input. But I really like that idea. Once I get started on all the other ones, like I get those consistently up, then that'd be really cool. The other thing I need to do is get an actual camera because right now I'm using my phone or my laptop, which is fine. But if I can get an actual camera, I can do longer videos without editing. Because right now my phone is letting me do like 20 minutes max. It depends on how much I have on my phone and everything. But I'm not planning on doing videos longer than that regularly. But for the every so often, occasional one, I want to get one camera that'll let me do like up to however long I need till the battery runs out. So we shall see. I started a Patreon. I think I'm going to put that in the description of one of the next videos, just to get it going for my next projects. Any other questions? I like these questions. Keep them coming. They're cool. They're really original and creative. I like it. We love to see a good side hustle. Wait, what did I say? Oh, the Patreon. It was like, Can I think of any other basic film stuff that I could think of? I know I also promised maybe seeing some of my earlier projects, but I think what I'll do is actually upload those later on, one by one, just to have a little bit of stuff during quarantine to look at and laugh at. They're fine. They're just, they're student projects. White walls and bad sound and interesting concepts and just, they're fun. I think I have a few of those, and then I have my short films. I already put the one up. You come first, but Burnout I'll put it up at some point. Actually working on it technically. We still have a few little things that we just never got to finish. And then all of us were either still in school working on their actual projects for that class, or like everybody kind of moved away from it. But we have little tweaks and stuff that we wanted to actually do to make it, perfect for us. And once that happens, then I can actually put it out and it'll be the final thing. So that'll be cool. I'm trying to think what else. Each of the most famous directors here. Wait, scratch it. Okay. That is interesting, though. Actually, it's funny you say that because somebody tagged me once a couple years ago in a video of like how each director would cook. It was super hilarious. It was very funny. But if you had to bake a birthday cake, each of the directors based on those same parameters, what would you do? Okay, let's see. It was you? I don't know. I mean, when it comes to people tagging me and stuff, I never remember who tagged me and what. It's just some memes. I definitely remember somebody tagging me in it, though. At one point. Okay, well, let's see. Sign a birthday cake for you. All right. Well, there's a ton of directors, so I'll do it was just the big famous ones. Spielberg would be a yellow cake with chocolate icing and yellow cake, chocolate icing, and a nice, like, I'll say icing stars on like star confetti on top, and I'm trying to think of something really like whimsical and fun. I don't know, like sprinkles and stuff. Something basic but fun, and you just love to watch it, and it's a little whimsical. Alfred Hitchcock would be, let's see, his would be a chocolate cake with white icing, just black and white. And it would be, the thing about Hitchcock movies is they're very montage, one thing after another. His would honestly probably just be like decorated like a film reel, because when you think of like famous directors who know the craft of filmmaking, it's Hitchcock. Yes, chocolate. You know what? I love that chocolate syrup. That is that is very funny. Maybe a hint of green for Vertigo. Just a hint of green around the sides, like a green glow. And chocolate syrup. Yes. Oh, you know what? For Spielberg's, I would put Reese's Pieces on inside of it too for ET. Now let's see. We've got who else? Tarantino would be red velvet cake. Because of, blood and stuff. It would be red velvet with, I don't know. I mean, I'd say maybe a like red icing drizzle everywhere. And it would, let's see. I'm trying to think what else as like a pun, like a food pun or whatever. I don't know. I guess it would just be decorated with like one big foot, on top. I'm trying to think what else is in a Tarantino movie. Usually, you would say about the raspberry. Oh my god. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. Um, Also, the cake would just be like super, like there would be like a whole platter of it, right? And it's just like different sections of cake, and it just never ends. It's just super long, and there's always sections. Um, and they just progressively get like a lot more red drizzle of icing. Um, let's see. Wes Anderson would be a perfectly square cake with perfectly like you know what, a perfectly square cake but tiered just perfectly. Um, yes. Um, a tiered cake. You have your fork and your knife on either side, perfectly placed, and you have trying to think. It could be pink, like the Grand Budapest Hotel. Um, and I don't know, just everything, every little thing on it, like little decorative things like gummies, little what are those called? Little, what are they called? Little icing circle things. Uh, it's gonna bug me. Okay, I can't think of what they're called. You just have those, and everything would just be perfectly symmetrical. Um, yes. See, the thing is, you know ingredients more than I do, and things that could go on cake. Um, all right, let's see. What else would who else is there that would be a fun one to do? Kubrick. No, it's like these little pellets of like colored chocolate, and you can melt them. That's gonna bug me. I can't remember. Um, let's see. Kubrick would be. His would have to be something disturbing. Honestly, though, his would be like super confusing. Like I wouldn't even be able to tell what shape it is. And he's like, it's just abstract. Um, and it would probably have some little secret message about the moon in it somewhere. Um, it would be patterned like the rug in the shine, like the carpet in The Shining. It would be cake number 237. Um, it would it would just be super dark chocolate, and after eating it, it had to be like poison something because after it's super sweet because after eating it, I would just feel like nauseous, and I would have to go to bed and take a few days to myself. Um, that would be Kubrick's cake. Um, who's another really good director everyone likes? Um, Alejandro Inarritu's cake would be. Let's see. I'm trying to think what the shape of it would be. Um, Shape of Water guy. No, that's Guillermo del Toro. His would his would just be green. Everything is just sea green, and it has scales, and it's just super artsy with all these like weird designs and everything on it. No, you're fine. There's somebody that I watched on YouTube once, and he said that Alfonso Cuarón was Jose Cuarón, and I was like, and his cake would just be like, just just one long cake. You don't know where it starts or ends. It's just one long cake, and it's like a lot of different colors, and it's really beautiful. Um, yes, it's one long cake. It never ends. It did. It does that every so often. My soul leaves sometimes. It's okay. I got it though. Let's see. What other directors are there? Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus would be like just the sweetest, most wholesome cake. It'd be like this little cake that everyone just loves in this little town where everybody knows each other. And any problems that people had making the cake were just like these little fun moments that they were able to get over and enjoy instead of being like a huge conflict. And it's got birthday candles and it says happy birthday, Harry. And yes, I'm trying to think of like what actual designs could be on it. Let me think here. Yeah, it would be the happy birthday Harry cake. Yeah. Who else is there? Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson's cake would be like an epic cake. It would be like the biggest cake. It would be like the because you didn't follow the recipe. Oh no. That's so good. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of forgot that he directed that. I really forgot that, and that makes me sad. Both that I forgot and that he directed. Who was I saying? Peter Jackson. His would be like the record breaking. Like, let's see how big of a cake you can make. And people will be like really excited about it, and like halfway through the cake, they'd be like making it. They'd be like, "God, this is gonna be the best thing! It's so epic. This is fun, and it's all green, and you have all these little patterns, and everyone's getting into the history of like cake." And then the second half, or honestly, they do the whole thing, and then he's like, "Guys, let's do it again." And they'd start, and they'd be like, "All right, I guess this is fun. I mean, it was fun the first time, but yeah, this one's not as good, you know." But it's got some good things about it. And then by the end of the cake, they're like, "Man, we need it. It's over. It's over." That would be Peter Jackson's cake. They wouldn't care about the history of the cake anymore. He would. He would do that for the Nolan one. Here's Christopher Nolan. His cake. Now his cake would be like you would make the cake and like I don't like just by the end it would just be like, is it even a cake at all? You know? You'd be like, it's actually just brownies. It's actually just brownies tricking into being a cake. No. Okay. No. Shyamalan would make what you thought was a cake. Then you go to cut into it, and it's really just a bunch of little cupcakes. And then Christopher Nolan would be like this really official looking cake. It would be super professional, very work corporate and everything. Tom Hardy's probably on it somewhere. And then I don't know, like by the end of making the cake, you go to eat it, but really for some reason you're just making another cake. And everything's like backwards, you know. And instead of eating it, you never actually eat the cake. You're just always making another one. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something really trippy that has to do with time. It was so dumb. Sorry. What other Jordan Peele? Jordan Peele. He just have like a bunch of cake metaphors and puns on it, you know, like like he would make the cake and then make another cake so that he could have one and eat it too, and we'd be like, oh, okay, I get that. It's a reference to the thing, and then what else would he do? He would probably, I mean, just put all these little metaphors and things in the icing. Of the cake, like, oh, the type of pattern that they, put on it, or like the little things he used to, that's actually something that they used in history, things like that. And then overall, it would be a very good cake. It was a fun experience making it. It died like a funfetti cake, so when you bite into it, you realize you just down at a market is crap. That's so good. We need to make a book out of this. This is hilarious. Trying to think. Let's see. Yeah, if there was a funfetti cake, it would definitely be Damien Chazelle. He would just make a funfetti cake that's just like super, not over the top. No. You know who would make a funfetti cake? Baz Luhrmann. It would just be funfetti, every different type of color. Everything would be dyed and like that icing spray. Baz Luhrmann did Gatsby with Leo, and he did the Romeo and Juliet with Leo. And he did Moulin Rouge. He's like really eccentric, and like it would be like a bunch of different cake. I mean, it would just be everything you can think of in a cake. So many candles, all lit up. Yeah, that would be his cake. Trying to think of who else there is. Jon Favreau would make like just a pretty good cake, like just a really good one. It's not like over the top or anything, but it's just like really good. And then suddenly everyone's like, "Well, I gotta make this cake," and then make their own cake, and people just keep making them and making them. And some people kind of like them. Some people, their cake is not so great. Some people, the cake is amazing. And then suddenly they're just like, what if we put all the cakes together? What if we just made a major cake universe? Or we could even shorten it to be called an MCU. And they put all the cakes together. Then suddenly everyone's like, all right, well, this is too much cake. And no other dessert has any room in the bakery aisle anymore, because all it is cake now, and all these cakes. And then some people will be like, but cakes are good. You can't just discount cake just because there's a lot of it. And then some people would be like, we need more room for brownies. And then the smaller brownies, And after a while, 10 years later, you just have like a giant ass cake that is just a mesh of everything. And some people are like, all right, well, that was a little disappointing. But then some people are like, I think I want to become a baker now. And then Samuel Jackson walks into the bakery and goes, so I'm going to have to buy all of your cakes. That would be Jon Favreau's cake. Who else? Try to get older directors too, other people. Think of any other directors I'm missing, like bigger ones, Martin Scorsese. Because the Baker's Academy had a backwards facing exclamation potato at its head. Yes. That's funny you say that, because Martin Scorsese's cake would be, he'd make a couple different ones. He and Tarantino would be the same thing, where they'd only make a few cakes, and Nolan, they'd only make a few, but every time there was a really good cake. Scorsese would make a cake, and then he'd make another one. So they were kind of the same, but they're still really good. And after a while, he's basically making the same cake But they're still all really good, even if it's not your style. It's like, okay, I mean, they're super big cakes, but like they're pretty good. And then John Favreau comes along and makes his, and now suddenly Scorsese's like, well, that's not cake. That's not cake. You don't know how to even make cakes. Do you even know what cakes are? He'd be like, that's Cuisinart oven. um, you're not a baker. Um, and then he'd be like, I'll show you, and then he makes the same cake. And it's 3.5 cakes in one. Made with Irish soda bread. I'm trying to think of other. John Hughes. John Hughes would make like. I'm trying to think. He would make like those nostalgic, types of like, um, I don't know, something that was made back. Like were there any kind of like cakes that were made like before that aren't made as much now? Because he would make those, and then like written on it, he'd put like little messages that have to do with like life is hard, like you don't have to make it harder or something like that. It'd be like little quotes from teenagers that would just kind of show how hard their life is. He would. I'm trying to think what else. Let's see if he could. I'm just something nostalgic, he would probably do that. Any other ones that are like big people? Older people. David Lean, John Ford. Tim Burton's cake. Oh dear God. His cake would just be like purple and have stripes everywhere, and it wouldn't even be like a perfect circle. It'd be like this weird sort of hat slash octagon slash trapezoid type thing. And Johnny Depp would probably be in it somewhere. And that's my mom. And let's see what else would be on this cake. It would have like the no wait, he didn't do Coraline, but he did produce it. It'd have the Coraline buttons. That movie freaks me out. And then it would probably I'll tell her you said hi. I'm trying to think what other Tim Burton-esque things there could be on there. It would just be really dark and like shadowy, kind of like German expressionist. It'd have a lot of shadows painted onto it. Any others? I think that's most of the big ones. At least I could think of one for you. I mean, there's David Fincher, David Lynch, a lot of older ones that I just can't. Oh, Mel Brooks. I'm trying to think what his would be. His cake would be like, what's a really good cake pun? Like somebody in the bakery would just be like, that's like icing on the cake, and then they would just like put icing on the cake. His would just be just an entire bunch of gags. Somebody would probably slip and fall into the cake. Yeah. Let's see. I keep saying that's it, and then I keep thinking of more. Sam Raimi's cake would just be like, it would just be like, at first you're like, this is a good cake. I'm excited for this cake. And then, you mix a few more, and you're like, wow, it just keeps getting better. And then suddenly it's like, all right, well, that one wasn't as good. And then after a while, everyone was like, wait a minute. Those cakes weren't actually that good to begin with. But then a lot of diehard fans of those cakes would just be like, no, they had heart, those cakes had heart. And then everybody would be like, nah, it's just nostalgia, man. I can't remember who directed Cats, but his cake would just, it wouldn't exist. It would just be CGI. And then people would throw them out of the bakery. Yes. They would be. It's a pretty good, I think, on the directors and the cake stuff. I like that one. Can't think of any more big ones though. I think that's pretty good. That was a good one. His cake would just be a blunt. You have to see it yourself. Yes, that is that's true. That is funny. I like that. Yeah. Thank you. I could probably go for one more question, then I'll wrap it up for this session. I'll definitely do this again if people are interested. But if you have any other questions or suggestions or anything, I'm all ears. I like these questions. Making me think. Making me think like I look like I don't know what I'm doing, which is true. You're showing the truth. Mm. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got some stuff done. I've been doing stuff around the house, and we're deep cleaning each room of the house. So it gives me something to do each day. And then at night when mom's working, she just has to use my computer. But when she's done working, I get to write and work on some of my movies stuff. I actually just, I think I have a good concrete foundation for a new script that I want to write because I haven't finished the other three that I've started, but I ran into problems with those, and I want to keep working on stuff. So I have a new script, and I think it's going to be like my mental health movie equivalent of like a Jordan Peele movie, like Us or something, which I think is really, I'm really excited about to get back to, because I've been doing a lot of like writing of the actual scripts or books or whatever, but I'm really excited to get back into developing something and just thinking about scene beats and developing characters and things like that. It's really fun when the story comes together. I know. I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. It won't be so much like a thriller, I guess, per se, of like Us. It's not like gonna be like scary or anything, but it's more so like the movie being not so much a metaphor, but a lot of symbolism within the movie, within the physical parts and the actual story itself. So I'm excited. It's gonna be cool. And then just watching movies and stuff. So today's been good. I got some stuff done. I got to go for a drive to go to the store, so I got out of the house, which was good. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We do love to see it. I would love to finish any of it, but we love to see at least something. I just keep getting stuck on everything, and then I'm like, well, I want to do something, but I'm stuck. So now let me just start something else, because that's all art people do. We never actually finish anything. We just love to start it. We love ideas. We don't love execution. Mm. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. For any YouTube people out there who don't know me that well, I was just the worst when it came to driving because I didn't have my car. I didn't have a car, and then I got my license like 5 years ago, and then I didn't drive for 5 years because I was at college. I didn't have a car, and I was terrified of driving. And I was fine at. I was okay. I mean, obviously, I got my license. I was a fine driver, but I just was terrified of it. But like, I don't know, quarantine. One good thing's come out of quarantine. I was forced to drive, and it gave me empty roads to practice on. So now that's better. So no more Ubering. Woo! Yeah, cool. Do you have any other movie, like original movie questions of like a what ifs or anything like that? Like one more. Planning. Oh God. Planning my Academy Award acceptance speech. I've done this multiple times. Who do I thank? What social justice movement do you use your platform to promote? And do you cry? Bonus points. What are you wearing? And who do you bring as your guest/date? Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. Who do I thank? I like to go the. It's so hard because you only have so much time, and obviously every person who's part of a movie deserves equal credit because every department does something crucial that if you didn't have it, you'd have to do extra work and it would just be harder. And it's hard because I hate. Wait, mom celebrity Pippa. It's super hard. Okay. In terms of who I thank, obviously I'm going to be thanking at least the core people. I would love to thank everybody, but it depends on if I'm accepting an Academy Award, it's probably a bigger movie. I would thank as many people as I could, at least on the core team. I would thank my parents and my schools for getting me this far, and generally anybody who supported me. I would go like the Leo DiCaprio route. I would like to thank my family and friends. All my friends, you know who you are, just because it sums it up. You're not forgetting anybody type of thing. I would love to sit there and thank everybody, but it would be super hard. What social justice movement? Mental health, probably, because I have found that every script I've written so far, either directly or indirectly, has to do with mental health. It has it in there somewhere. Do I cry? No, because I never cry. I'm supposed to. I cry after the fact. Like when I'm alone in the room, I'll just be like, just because I would be too shocked in the moment too. I can't. It's hard. Not that I'm like trying to cry, but I just never do. So I wouldn't cry until later. What am I wearing? Well, I'm glad at least you didn't ask who are you wearing. I think that's the dumbest asked question. I hate that crap. Everyone's always like, oh, the Oscars are so bad because everyone's so vain. I'm like, okay, I don't watch it because I want to know what people are wearing. I'd be like, I'm wearing fucking Men's Warehouse. I don't know. Target. I'm wearing a suit, I'm not, it's a suit. Nobody's going to care. It's not going to like look any different. I don't know. I wear a regular suit with a, like a, whose skin are you? Good Lord. I would probably just wear black suit, black tie, white shirt, maybe gray with a black tie, gray suit. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. One of those two. And then what was the other one? Oh, who would I bring as my guest date? Oh no. Wow. That's assuming I'm not married and wearing a human family known as Chris Pratt. I never knew he said that. I love him so much. I would, assuming I'm not married or in a relationship, I'd probably bring my mom. I mean, the thing is, I would love to bring both of my parents. Yeah, I mean, it's you probably just everybody brings their mom, and my dad, honestly, he might find it cool, but he also would probably just be like, okay, this was good, My mom would actually know a lot of the celebrities, probably more, and she knows a lot more of the movies and everything. But yeah, if I could bring both, I'd bring both. Yeah, I mean, let's see. And then is that all of them? Yeah, bring my mom. I'm wearing Target. I don't cry. Mental health, and who do I think? Yeah, yep. That's my acceptance speech. I would like to thank you all for coming to my Q&A, whether you were just stopping in real quick or you helped me by asking me a ton of questions I could actually answer and feel like I'm having human interaction. This was really fun. Truly, man, the people out here wearing Target, honestly. You know what? I'm wearing Walmart. I'm wearing Goodwill. Yeah, my little Oscar, my little buddy. It's like so hard to see it, but yeah. So thank you everybody for coming. We're literally at the point of a Harry Potter movie ending. Could have watched the whole Harry Potter movie by now. Goodwill, mom and dads. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining and seeing the updates and everything. Thank you if you watch us a little bit later and you can see all the updates and everything. If you want to stick, I'll put timestamps down for around when like updates were and when questions kind of sort of got started and just general conversation. Just so if you just want to see the updates, you know where those are. Yeah, and I'll definitely be doing this again. Probably do it one more time, maybe over quarantine, and then I want to keep doing it, preferably when I have a couple more subscribers, just so that there's more interaction coming through and inputs and things like that. But yeah, I'll keep doing them because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to know if you like the videos, if you like the segments, what else you would want to see, what other questions you have, get to know me a little bit more, things like that. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and thank you for Patricia for all the very interesting original questions. They were questions I've never thought of before, so that was really cool. Yeah, so hope you guys have a good rest of your night. So it's more than just me asking dumb casual questions. No, but that was good though. Like I want like for the Q&As for the channel to have it be like stuff about the channel as well, like seeing what everybody thinks of it and all. But this was a really cool getting to know me for some other people. But thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And like I said, there'll be more to come. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your night and good weekend. Stay inside, stay healthy, stay sane, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Take care of yourselves and watch a lot of movies. And let me know if there are movies, and you can always put something on my channel. Watch, if you have a specific movie you want me to review or whatever. I'll be coming out with some more probably within the next week. Probably at least one or two more of just regular reviews. I think I want to do a couple more of those favorites I was talking about. Yeah, so up until then, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. And I will see you guys later.